Welcome to another video. What is this? Auto challenge? Yeah, it's auto challenge. And we are here to tell you about many great cars today. And we're going to start by telling you the two challenge cars for the week. And they are the Porsche 959 and the Lamborghini Aventador LP 720-450 Anniversario. And before we do that, similar to last week, we had a special episode where we sort of told about all about the Mustang in the beginning. How the Mustang was a very important car in the time of how the Mustang had changed from when it first came out to what it currently is. And then it became also the challenge car. Something similar this week, we're going to talk about a couple of special Lamborghinis. Instead of me and the budget time picking one car to talk about in the beginning, and then our challenge car. And here they are. So, first we'll get on the list. These here are what Lamborghini lists on their website as their masterpiece cars. Which basically is all their cars. Except for a few of them that don't put on there. And we'll be talking about one of those, because I think it's a very important car. So we have the Gallardo Veneno, very important car. Sesto Elemento, best Lamborghini in my opinion. Estogue LM002, Diablo, Murcielago, Ventron. Jopla, Countach, Saluthi. What does that one say? Saluthe?
Silhouette.
Same thing. Jarma. Iluro.
Espada.
Uraco, Miura. And then we got the 400 and this 350. So, for Lamborghini actually started out making tractors. But after they made tractors, they decided to make cars. And that there, the 350, which I'll show you in about a minute, is the original, the beginning of Lamborghini. And once I search up one car that I forgot, then we'll be ready. But that car, very important. And, can't hear that doesn't want to work. Okay, how's this one? Yes. We're going to open that over there. Thank you. Okay, now, the 350 was the first car that Lamborghini ever made. At the time, the creator of Lamborghini, he was just making good cars. They were sort of at the time, you know, rivaling with Ferrari just a little bit. It wasn't so much what it is now, Ferrari, Lamborghini. And this is, what is that, Ferrasco or something like that? What is that?
A Ferruccio.
Ferruccio, so Ferruccio Lamborghini. That was the creator of Lamborghini's name.
Ferruccio.
And this is the first car they ever made in 1963. So, when you hear about the 50th anniversary of Lamborghini last year...
It's a cool looking car.
It was celebrated from when this car was made to now with the Aventador. Even though Lamborghini didn't really get a start until the Miura came out a few years later. And that was really when it started. Similar to, around the same time as the Mustang. The Mustang was there for a few years, but then a few years later is when it fully, you know, got to becoming a car. So this one here is the first one, and if you just look at it for a second,
It's a good looking car. I like it.
It is pretty cool. And that was the first car that Lamborghini had ever made. At this time, Ferrari had been around for a little bit longer already, but they were really all in the same area of Italy, in the same almost town. They were right next to each other basically. So Ferrari, Lamborghini, and if you look at it today, as of now, you got Ferrari, Lamborghini, and Pagani. But obviously Pagani's only been a company since 1999. So not as long for Pagani as, obviously, Lamborghini and Ferrari. But this car is just a simple two-seat type car. Let's see what other things they have of it. There it is. So as you can see, the headlights will obviously go down. So they had many cars that do that. Now you don't see that so much. for the headlights to pop up. But wouldn't that make it more aerodynamic? Like that. That makes it more aerodynamic than having the headlights like they are now, wouldn't it?
At the time, yeah.
But now it's not.
Now they build them in so it's even more aerodynamic.
And there it is, obviously, at its time. This is the 350 GT, so in 1964 they made a faster version. At that time it had 320 horsepower. It's not bad.
Nope.
And then they made, in 1965, they made a convertible one. And they only made
kind of cool with convertible.
They only made 2 of these to Spider. So that one's sort of cool, and there it is. So, if you go all the way back through, I should have just went up back to the other thing. Okay. So, as you see, the beginning of Lamborghini, right there in that car. And we're going to skip ahead to the next, well, not the next car, but the first car that really established Lamborghini as a supercar. This, the Miura. In 1966, Lamborghini released the Miura. Now this one here wasn't an official project that Lamborghini was working on. So what was that guy's name?
Ferruccio?
Yeah, so he was like, okay, whatever. We're not really... It wasn't like an official project to make a supercar. But the reason that the whole company was started with the other car, the 350, he wanted to buy, well he didn't, it was something sort of like with Ferrari. He was going to get a Ferrari, but then it's like, what if I made my own car? And that's how it started. Something along those lines, either he didn't like the way a Ferrari was, or something along those lines. But then they made this car. Many things were designed to go into this car that they didn't put in it, that you see in cars now. They had glass engine cover, which they don't put in the car. 3 seats. So the glass engine cover was what they put in a lot of Ferraris now. They had the 3-seat layout, which you see in the McLaren F1. The way the engine was put in it, they did take the idea from a Mini Cooper, so they put it at sort of a side angle, so that way it's smaller of a car. And they put the engine in the back instead of the front for a sports car, supercar at the time. This one here is almost known as the beginning of the supercar. And as you can see, just look at how awesome that looks.
It's like a Corvette.
It's a pretty cool look. And the interesting thing is when the doors open, this part here comes along it, so it looks like the horns of a bull. That's what makes it look awesome. And there's what it looks like open. As you can see.
It's got a tire for an engine in the front.
So the tires, and also the thing that was not so good about the car when it first started was the gas in the front. They put the gas in the front of it too. And the whole gas tank, if it got really low, it would go light in the front, and you lose control of the steering. And also, if any of the gas would splash on part of the car, it would catch on fire.
That's a good thing.
So at the time, they don't do it so much now, obviously. But
it's never good to burn your customers up. That's just not good. They don't come back and buy your car again if they burned up.
can I please finish? Always turning everything into some stupid thing. They're just on the side, and did
That one
not.
didn't burn up.
What?
That one didn't burn up.
Not a lot of them caught on fire, but a few of them did. So they made 464 of them. They had 350 horsepower. This car, it was a beginning type car. And this in here goes along the lines of what the Aventador is now. The Aventador evolved from this car, basically. So when Aventador to the Countach, to the Diablo, to the Murcielago, to the Aventador. And then they made the Miura S with 370 horsepower. And the SV, and that one had 385 horsepower. And there it is. So we're gonna go to the next car. We're gonna skip ahead a lot. What's another important Lamborghini that you think that they made? Diablo or Countach?
Oh, the Countach, definitely.
Right. So, why don't we just talk about both of them? I mean, the Diablo I'm not going to do so much with, because obviously we have to get on with it, and I still got 2 other cars to talk about after that. But the Countach was the next car after the Miura. And this was one of your favorite cars at the time?
They didn't make anything that looked like that.
Did you have a picture of it? Did you have a poster of it?
No, I didn't.
You didn't? Oh. I don't know, because that's the question. But what did you have? Didn't you say you had a picture of what was that? The Triumph? Did you have one of those?
I had a picture of Farrah Fawcett.
Anyways. What? As you can see, that's how the doors go on the car, so they changed the idea from what they had with the Miura, with the doors opening up with the horns of a bull, to how it opened up like this. And this is right after the Miura, literally, the end of the Miura and this car came out. With the big air intakes there, you can see how they even made it already more aerodynamic. Faster, and this one here, in 1974, this one there, released this one here. There's the inside of it. So they had the LP400. So 400 means obviously they had 400 horsepower. As we'll get more into the names of the cars when we get to the Aventador and the real challenge. But this here, it looks interesting inside. One side looks basic, one side looks really crazy.
That's very 70s looking.
And there's the back.
Like a spaceship.
That's awesome. That was... They had the Ferrari at the time, but it wasn't as popular. And there you go back to that design. So next is the Diablo. The Diablo came after the
Boring.
Countach, and it really got kind of boring, like you said. In the 90s, this is the car they made because the Countach went from the early 70s to the end of the 80s. So in the 90s, they made this one here, and it was supposed to sort of take over for where the Miura and the Countach were. And this one here was the first Lamborghini to get over 200 miles an hour. Hold on, let me get back to the page. I accidentally did something there. Okay. There you go. So the back of it already doesn't look as cool. I mean, you can see a bit of what they tried to take part of the Countach. Didn't do so good with that. The inside, and they had made it for 11 years. And there it is. So they call it the supercar of the future. Not as good as the Countach. And then finally we end with the Murcielago. Oh yes, these are all the different Murcielagos they made. They had the different ones. So that's the first one that they made, 640 Roadster. But that's the best one right there, the LP720 SV. Or Super Veloce or whatever.
Super Veloce.
That too. And look at that. That car was that on my top 10? I think that was on my top 10 list. This is the final Murcielago that they made in 2010, before the Aventador came in, and I think this one here is one of my favorite Lamborghinis, like, of the normal line of them, not their crazy concepts, like the Sesto Elemento. This one here is probably my favorite. I'm not going to say basic Lamborghini, but the not normal. You know what I mean?
Production.
Yeah, a production Lamborghini. This one here is my favorite one. And, so it had 30 more horsepower, and this one here could keep up with a Mercedes McLaren SLR, which was one of the best hypercars, and this one here could keep right up with it. So let's just look at the picture of it. There's the top of it, there's the inside of it, there it is again. Right. How much time in the video have I just wasted on talking about?
SV, that's what the Greyhound's name was. SV. SV
Right.
Comfort Zone.
And the final one, we can't not talk about this without Sesto Elemento, then we're going to touch upon one other car. The Sesto Elemento is the special Lamborghini, which is a super light one that they only made 20 of, all made out of carbon fiber, because Sesto Elemento means sixth element, and the sixth element on the table of elements is carbon. So much carbon fiber is used in this, and it was like a... They also put some plastic in it, so it's all made out of basically carbon, plastic type, composite type thing. Very cool car. One of the best, and even put a remote control car of it. And the final one that we have is this Lamborghini right here. This is the Cala, or however you say it, is C-A-L-A. Is that how I said it right? Cala? Cala. So there it is. They made about, I've seen two different things. One said that they made one of them, one said they made 3. So between 1 and 3 these were made. Concept in 1995. This one here is supposed to replace the Jopla, which ended in 1998, but it didn't get replaced until 2003 when the Gallardo replaced it. So this one here was almost the concept before the Gallardo came in. And now the Gallardo's ended and it's got the Huracan or whatever the thing's called. Huracan, however you want to say it. You can say it both ways.
The what?
The new Lamborghini.
No.
You know that one, the best one for the Gallardo. As you can see, it was number 75 at the Lamborghini Owners Drive Across Italy event last year to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Lamborghini, when they also had 4 people that were invited to this event. You had to be a Lamborghini owner. So obviously I got invited to it. Not really, I just made that up. That would have been fun to go to though. And they released this, which here is called the Egoista, which in Italian is selfish. It means selfish. And the reasoning for that is because it has 1 seat in it. So 1 person can go in this car. And then they made 1 concept of it. And it's a just absolutely crazy looking car.
Oh, weird. It's like a transformer.
It's just crazy. It's really all I gotta say about it. And now it's time to move on. As we have just probably used up so much of our time on that. Barely in 17 minutes of our video. I already used to talk about some Lamborghinis. But I feel like we got some good information. Oh my gosh, really?
Why'd you do that? It's your own video. I think they're gonna
Stop. Just stop.
be sick. Man, they just smell.
Stop! Just talk about the car that you picked. Stop trying to blame your stupid fart on me and talk about the car. It's not funny. Stop laughing and talk about this Porsche, which is not as good as the car that I picked.
Really? Alright. This car
Is not as good as the Lamborghini Aventador LP
the
720-4.
Porsche 959. Okay, this car came out.
Good car, but
It's a-
not as good.
Well, the thing about this car is made by Porsche, the legendary car manufacturer. And it was actually used as a rally car first, and then they're going to make it street. And this is the car that was actually had the world's record. It was the one, it peaked at 200 miles an hour.
No, it didn't.
It did.
It went 197 miles an hour, and the car that...
Top speed, 200 miles an hour.
Because you were able to get a few more miles an hour out of it, but it was not originally tested, and it got the top speed of 100.
This one, well, I'm going by the report here.
And
That's
this
what
car
it says.
here was the first car to get over 200 miles
Okay,
an hour.
anyway.
At 201, the Ferrari F40, which is a better car than the Porsche. And this one here is one of the best Ferraris ever made.
Okay.
And it was made to rival the Porsche, and it went 201 miles an hour. Like, haha, we beat you. And you're wrong, and I'm going to be right, and thank you for talking.
Not only rewrote the world records for top speed and acceleration, this car also featured advanced technologies which other cars hadn't had yet. But because this car
Okay.
had it, the other cars got it afterwards. So, Ferrari.
Was this car the first car to feature carbon fiber?
Yes, it
no,
was.
It wasn't, because the first car to feature that was the Ferrari F40.
All right. So anyway, it is no supercar before have got so much technology breakthrough as the 959
Agreeable.
or any subsequent supercar had. So, all right, there you go. That's my spiel. Good car. And the best thing about it is, the richest man in the world, who could afford any car he wanted to buy at any time, this is the guy who developed Microsoft,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
and all of that
Yep.
stuff.
Mhm.
So he was the one who developed that.
Mhm.
So he's a man who knows technology
Mhm. Yep.
and technological advances,
Mhm.
and the car he chose
Mhm.
as his own personal
Mhm.
car.
Just say
is
his
the
name.
Porsche 959. So if you got to imagine that if Bill Gates could choose a car, he didn't choose that.
Because
He could afford that,
when he bought the car, this one wasn't out.
but
I bet you that Bill Gates would buy this car.
he could buy it if he wanted. But did he? No.
Because 200
Did
other
he?
people.
No.
200 other people bought it
But-
before him. He was the.
But
200
why would? But if he is the richest man in the world. So if he wanted to buy that in front of all the other ones, he has more money than all of them.
No, but see,
So if he wanted, if he
Just listen,
listen,
they had
if-
to make
if
a
he-
list
If,
to sign up to
why
buy it.
wouldn't you want? But why? If wouldn't
And
you think
sadly,
the richest man in the world?
He was the 201st person to sign up, so he couldn't get it.
Do you think that if the richest man in the world has to not make a list if he didn't want it, wouldn't anybody want to have Bill Gates driving their car? Sure.
No,
So,
I would.
with that said, that was the car that the richest man who could have anything he wanted at any time. He simply took the Porsche.
But this car here is still better.
No, but it's like
You can't just say because Bill Gates owned one that it just so happens to be the best car in the world.
Well, no, but why? But it's like if
Ah,
you're out
no, wait,
to buy,
wait, let me ask you a question.
then why can't I finish?
Because I have a question.
Oh, okay, then you can finish.
No, just listen.
You don't want me to finish? You can finish.
I have
I'll
a
do
serious
talk
question
later.
for you.
Okay.
Oh my gosh! Can I just ask you a serious question?
Well, go
Come
ahead.
here. Come here. Close the door.
No, I'm listening.
No, come here. Close the door.
Let's go. I'll answer your question, and then you can.
Okay,
go.
finish saying what you were saying first.
That's it. Well, just think it. If he wanted it, and he knows what would be the best. If you can afford the best, you buy the best, and if that's what his choice is the best, I guess it's the best.
You gotta stay here and listen to my thing still too. And the other thing is, if he has the best products or whatever, he knows the best thing, why did you buy an iPhone instead of a Windows phone?
Because the company paid for it. It was free.
But you could have had any phone you want. Why are you walking away? I didn't do my part yet.
Well, you can just do your part, and I'll come back.
How are you gonna know when it's over?
I guess.
Oh, it's over now.
Okay.
Okay. Well, he's being annoying, and now you see why we're not gonna have the series anymore because he can't stay in the room for more than 5 minutes. This is the better car, obviously, of the choice. And it's the Lamborghini Aventador something LP 720-450 Anniversario. And they only made 200 of them, and it's one of the most exclusive cars, except for a bunch of the other ones we talked about before. It has 20 more horsepower than the current V12 Aventador LP 700-4. New improved air intake, handling, stability stuff, aerodynamic splitters, small flaps set in the side, and new diffuser stuff which does some more stuff to the engine and helps them win. And it's the finest Italian craftsmanship. Yes, the Porsche is a good car. Nothing against it. But how can you go against the finest Italian craftsmanship when the Porsche 959 was developed in a Porsche development lab somewhere in Germany when you can have the finest Italian craftsmanship made out of modern materials, carbon fiber, plastic composites, and some other stuff. It's just better. The front splittery, diffusory thingies is very important. Makes it aerodynamic. Technical specifications we shall now look at. Yes. We have a carbon fiber Montague with a aluminum front and rear frames, which is important. So it's made out of carbon fiber. It's got the bonnet up at the hood, basically. So the carbon fiber engine bonnet. I'm reading what it says in here. Obviously in America we don't call it the bonnet, but since this is a Italian page. A movable splitter, side air inlets, aluminum front bonnet, front fenders and doors, external mirrors, heat electrically adjustable and foldable, and the rear spoiler is movable, 3 positions depending on speed and drive select mode. Right. And it's got airbags in case you crash, but you're probably going to die. You can go 217 miles per hour. If you crash 217 miles an hour, you're probably going to die. You can keep the airbags. Gallery. Always important to look at the car's brilliant design. Again, as we see, starting with the Countach in the 70s, Lamborghini have put the doors like this. Up. Like that. Now, they don't do that with the Murcielago and the Huracan, but they do it with their main V12 supercars. Not Miura, but they did it with the Countach. They did it with the Diablo. They did it with the Murcielago, and now with the Aventador. That just shows that they know what's good for their cars. Look at the front of that car. It's just aerodynamic enough. The side with the vents intaking air and moving it in air moving ways, and the back of the car with the little 50 emblem badge design decal thingy, and the door. Look at that. Open side air intakes and the vents all coming together in one car, in one design of fine Italian craftsmanship, like I said on the previous page. But I agree. One of the best cars in the world right here, and that's why I win yet again. You're my championship because I just won. But look at that. Boom. Front design. Italian seats. And the side of it again. And the front. Go to the gallery. I broke it. I broke my computer, basically. Thanks for watching, and make sure you tune in 2 weeks for the finale. Series finale. Unless the Winter Summer wins. Series finale. In 2 weeks, which is the, what day is that? 24th. Make sure you tune in on the 24th to check out who will become champion. Or if I become champion. Or if we're going to go for another